Hello everyone, greetings from sunny Turkey. My name is Svetlana Mucha and I'm the leading matchmaker and dating coach at Diolli.com. Today we will continue talking about the first vacation with a Ukrainian lady. From the very beginning I want to add a so-called disclaimer. Guys, if you have never met in person and if you are talking to this lady on a dating site or through Facebook and you have been chatting, texting, but you have never met face-to-face in real life, you are not in a relationship yet. So if she tells you that she can meet you only in Istanbul or in Paris or elsewhere, that's ridiculous. When the lady is interested, she will be happy to meet you in her home city, in her hometown. For her, it wouldn't matter where to meet. It would be important to meet with you finally. So if she is suggesting to meet only there and you have to send her money to buy the ticket, that's like a huge red flag. We are not discussing this situation right now. Right now we are talking about real people who are seriously interested in building a relationship. Usually we recommend our clients to travel to Ukraine for at least 6 to 7 days. That's the best. If the gentleman is traveling from, let's say, China, Australia or the United States. Of course, if we are talking about a gentleman from Western Europe, he can travel over for a weekend and meet a few candidates. Also, we recommend to meet a few ladies, not to travel just to meet one lady for the first trip, of course. Of course, when you are in relationship with a lady, it would be a different story. Right now we are talking about the first trip, because no one can tell you if there will be something special between you and that lady. The lady can't take that responsibility. Of course, ladies pretty often feel offended, like, oh, he's traveling to meet multiple people and I would love him to travel just to meet me. And then we ask this lady, and what will happen if, for example, he will fly for 12 hours and you won't like him on a date? And this can happen. Like, can you guarantee that you will fall madly in love with him just after one date? Of course, she can't guarantee that. So the best solution is to meet several ladies during your first trip and then to see which acquaintance can lead to a meaningful relationship. Guys, 1, 2, even 5 dates is not a relationship yet. So even if you had like 2 or 5 dates with the same lady, it doesn't guarantee that she considers you to be her boyfriend. Of course, after the first meeting in Ukraine, the gentleman will return back home to his country and there will be a pretty long period of time. Usually it's about 1-2 months. We recommend not to make it longer than 2 months, when you will be texting, calling each other, talking by Skype or by other video messengers. The difference between such long-distance communication and communication to a lady you have met on a dating site is really huge, because you have already met in person. You have a certain level of understanding who is the person you are talking to. You have seen each other offline. You have smelled each other. You have seen how you really look like offline. So it's not like talking to a complete stranger online. And after this, let's say 1 or 2 months of Skyping, texting back and forth, we strongly recommend to go somewhere on a trip with that lady, not to travel to Kharkov again to meet her. Why? Because when you have first traveled to Ukraine, you were a tourist and you were on vacation in her country. She was on her territory. So when you return from the date to your hotel room, you keep thinking about the date, your mood is more romantic, and she returns back home to her apartment or to her house, to her every evening routine, and it kind of crashes slightly the impression she had about the date. But when you travel somewhere new together for, let's say, second meeting, not for the second date, but for the second meeting, you would be on the same page. You are in the new city or in the new country, and work, kids, relatives, all the routine is left behind. You can concentrate fully on getting to know each other, and spending 2 or 3 days, full 2 or 3 days together at neutral territory will be a way better indicator if you can build a real strong, healthy, meaningful relationship than, let's say, corresponding for 2 or 3 months. And my clients, they value their time. They don't want to invest months of their lives into corresponding with somebody and just to realize later on that you are not for each other. Of course, it is life and things like that can unfortunately happen, but if you have met in person for, let's say, 4 or 5 dates in Kharkov, then you were corresponding and Skyping for about 2 months, and then you go for a long weekend together for, let's say, 3 days somewhere in Istanbul, for example. Then you can know for sure after such trip if you can build a real relationship with such person, if you are for each other. You will watch how you react to different people, to different situations, and you will spend this time literally together, even if you are staying in separate hotel rooms. This is why I strongly recommend to plan a vacation together. It doesn't mean that you have to go somewhere really fancy. There are plenty of interesting places that you can visit, and they can be on a budget. But the importance is you are spending this quality of time together, and you are not distracted by everyday routine, by home, by work, by friends. You concentrate 100% on each other, and two of you are on the same page about this. Guys, I repeat myself, if you haven't met in person, if you were just corresponding on a dating site or on Facebook, you are not in relationship yet, so I don't see a point to buy her ticket and fly her, let's say, to Paris or elsewhere. Meet her in her hometown, and better to meet several people just to be sure, just to have a plan B. And while I'm calling it a plan B and it can sound shallow, you're not in relationship after talking on Skype or texting or exchanging emails, and for sure she doesn't consider you to be her boyfriend. So guys, I wish you only successful dates with a wonderful lady, and I hope you will be smart about your dating choices. With love, Svetlana Mukha from Turkey for Diolli.com.